and the chairman of the Uganda Kidney Foundation, Professor Robert Kalyesuga, the chairman of the organizing team, Dr. Rose Muhindo, the eminent nephrologists that are here, the specialists that are assembled here from all over the country, the doctors, the nurses involved in nephrology, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. My name is Dr. Nathan Onyachi, as he has told you, a senior consultant surgeon and the director of Lira Regional Referral Hospital and the chair of the Forum of Hospital Directors of Uganda. I'm happy to welcome all of you to Lira City and to Lamu sub-region. And I'm also happy to represent the Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Jane Rusa Chemo, who is unable to be with us because of other official engagements. I want to thank you for choosing Lira as the place to celebrate the World Kidney Day and to have your conference and a medical camp for the year 2024. I am particularly happy to see the faces of those I taught in the medical school, like Professor Kalyesuga. In third year, I remember very well, when I was doing my master's in surgery. And I'm surprised that he has also taught many other people like Okelo James, whom I'm working with. So I have grandchildren here. I'm happy to see my grandchildren. And I'm happy to see the many people that you have mentored as my child, Dr. Kalyesuga. I'm also happy to see many other people, the staff of Lira Regional Referral Hospital. Passion for excellence, that is our motto. Once you say that, you hear that thunderous clap. That is how we greet. But we can also say, Amoro Unduch. Musibe Mutiama Sevo, for those who don't understand our language here. So you are all welcome here, and no doubt, there is no doubt that the kidney is a very important organ in the human body, the malfunction of which is a great source of misery, catastrophic expenditure, and even premature death. The overwhelming numbers of patients attending dialysis, even at Lira Regional Referral Hospital here, are testimony to this. And yet the greater majority of patients with kidney disease might be dying out there undetected. They are dying out there, not might. They are dying out there in the rest of the country. So Uganda being a resource-limited country, prevention, early detection, and the treatment of kidney injury or kidney disease should be the main way to go in managing this catastrophe. Like many diseases in Uganda that we have, prevention is usually the way. To this, therefore, public awareness of kidney diseases and their causes is a big factor in prevention and management of kidney disease. And we are not only talking about public awareness to the population, we are also talking about public awareness to the health workers. I think we are living in a very lucky era that something can be done about kidney disease and acute kidney injury and renal shutdown. I have very bad experiences when I was practicing. Dr. Kalyesuga, one time I was in Nagalama, and I was a medical superintendent of Nagalama at that time. And I was working as a surgeon. But you know, we are the surgeons who are doing everything. Nowadays they are so specialized, the surgeon of the right hand, with the right leg. For us, when they said general surgery, you would have to do everything. You would enter the head and do bar holes. You would enter the chest. You would go into the abdomen. you'd fix implants in bones. That's what general surgery meant during our time. But you people nowadays, you are over-specializing also. But that's what a general surgery was. So I was practicing obs and gyne as well during that time. And I've never forgotten that lady. She was a clinical officer and head of a health unit in Najefuma, in the sub-district. And she got preeclampsia. I think that was around 2003. She got preeclampsia and she got a renal shutdown. And she came with anuria. And we just didn't know what to do and where to send her. And she died. That was the kind of practice we were involved in. Dr. Kariesura, you remember even when we were doing the surgery, we did not have pulse oximeters. So you are training under very good conditions. You can read, I heard Okelo saying PO2 was above 90. We need to have those things. For us, when we were operating, we were using the color of blood to know whether there's hypoxemia. Can you imagine that? You know, when you're operating, you tell the anesthetist, my friend, the blood is dark. Can you check the airway? Is the patient breathing? Is the endotracheal tube in place? And then he would check to see whether he can do something to correct. Once the blood is bright red, then you know the PO2 must be around 9 or something. That was the kind of life for me. And I see in the LMNS where you have meetings every week, the gynecologists are telling people want blood pressure for everybody. Every mother must have blood pressure taken. Every mother must have HB taken. So some of those things are not possible. But anyhow, we need medicine. So we need to strengthen prevention and treatment of hypertension, diabetes mellitus, prostatism, as these are some of the major cancers of kidney disease, as well as proper management of malaria and other infections, preeclampsia, in pregnancy, to mention but a few. The government of Uganda, the Parliament of Uganda, and by the chairman of the Health Committee is very passionate about this. And the Minister of Health is deliberate in extending super specialized services from national to regional referral hospitals. And this is evidenced by the opening of the dialysis units in Balala Regional Referral, in Lira, in Bali. I think Arua and Hoima have also come on. And this will be done with other specialties. We're not only looking at nephrology, but we're also looking at other specialties. Recently, in our meeting of hospital directors, we noticed a big problem of death from head injury. Many people are falling on borders. You know, the majority are not wearing helmets here in Uganda. So we're having a lot of border crashes, and people are getting head injury, and before they reach Mulago, they are dead, either from brain edema or whatever. And so we are saying, and why don't we improve the capacity of the regional referral hospital to do craniotomy, to do bar holes, and manage these patients? And do you know who was one of the first patients we managed? The director of Soroti. Recently, Dr. Watmon was knocked by border just in front of his house in Bulu. And I think Bulu Regional Referral Hospital did a good job. They were able to do craniotomy. They did bar holes and evacuated the hematoma. And he was saved. I think I had somebody like Beatrice Odonkara speaking here. Beatrice, are you there? Yes. So welcome the Gulu team. You know, I was the hospital director of Gulu Regional Referral for some time, nearly 10 years. So I'm happy to see you, the Gulu team. Thank you for the good job that you did to save Dr. Watmon. But now we said, can we pick general surgeons from all the regional referral hospitals in the country and take them to the neurosurgery department in Mulabo and give them a fellowship of 2 months in neurosurgery. Okay? So this is one of strengthening regional referral hospitals to carry out some of these specialties. And that's why the government of Uganda has set up ICUs, or is in the process of establishing ICUs in many of our regional referral hospitals. That's why the government of Uganda has put up CT scans. And that's why the government of Uganda is in a continuous process of strengthening laboratories in the country. And this is part of the effort to achieve this decentralization of super specialization to the regional referral hospitals. The early services at Lira Regional Referral Hospital have proved useful to the community with a current enrollment of over 50 CKD patients in care in just in 1 year. We started in January 2023 and we have had, of course we have lost some. We've had nearly 72 patients enrolled. We right now have 42 patients in care who have also cured so many people with acute kidney injury, especially from preeclampsia, malaria, and other infections. And those ones, moreover, have been free of charge. So we don't charge those ones any money. So many people have actually benefited from the dialysis unit at the Regional Referral Hospital. And the service has created the need for more specialized workers at the regional referral. Indeed, the government has rolled out a new staffing structure for various levels of health units, as you are aware, regional referral hospital inclusive. And these structures are designed to bridge the gap that we have been having in extending these super specialties to the regional referral hospitals. You realize now we have medical officer special grade nephrology. It is there in the structure. Consultant nephrology, senior consultant nephrology, and other specialties. So Dr. Kalyesu, as you train, please, we are expecting more nephrologists applying for these positions at the regional referral hospital level. Besides this, of course, we shall need further training. Like we had further training in specialized care for regional referral hospital staff, such as the one that was carried out by Kirudu National Referral Hospital around October 2022, where 5 staff of Lira Hospital benefited. But for this matter, I want to thank the management of Kirudu National Referral Hospital, and especially Dr. Daniel Chigundu here. Dr. Chigundu, just stand up for the congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, is the man behind the dialysis unit at Lira. I remember he moved in with the team when I just arrived in Lira here from Masaka. I think that was around August or September. Then he came and said, Dr. Onyachi, can you give us space? We want a clean room. I remember that those are the words he used. We want a clean room where we can provide some machines and also start dialysis. And we wanted to give 5 staff to be trained for 3 months. And we looked for the clean room and identified it. And we gave him the 5 staff to take for training. And he trained them. And in no time they had started dialysis. Some of them are actually here. Can you stand up for recognition? Emily Musimenta, Dr. Petina Bongo, and there are some behind there. Those are now the gurus of dialysis in Lira Regional Referral Hospital. They have done a wonderful job. The only problem is that they are now asking for more ward space. And I don't know where to put them, okay? They want more ward space because the patients are many. And we're happy that Kirudu gave us another 5th dialysis machine. Dr. Chigundu and team, we are now running dialysis as a 24-hour service, day and night. So we thank you for this support. I also want to congratulate the government, the Reno fraternity, and the people of Uganda for the first ever renal transplant in Uganda. Let us clap. I thank all those who are behind the success. I believe some of you nephrologists were involved in this case of having this transplant, and we are so grateful for achieving that milestone as a country. This is the way to go for our people. I'm told that even after over 3 months after this operation, both the donor, the kidney donor, and the recipient in this operation are doing well. So I think we need another clap for that. Passion for excellence. Again. Thank you so much. So we are doing so well as far as renal transplant is involved. The cost of these interventions, however, is not cheap for the average Ugandan. In addition to the prevention that I've mentioned above, we need, together with you members of the kidney fraternity, to explore ways of bringing down the cost of these interventions. The highly subsidized cost of dialysis, for example, here patients are paying 80,000 shillings per session, and they need 2 to 3 sessions per week of dialysis. That's quite a bit of money, not so. To the average Uganda, even to the health workers, with your enhanced salaries, not so. We enhanced your salaries, and there are so many cars in the Lira Regional Referral Hospital. I have no parking space. Because my health workers have really bought cars. That's a sign, an indicator, okay, for a better pocket, not so. Because somebody said they have not had salary increment, but the government gave salary increment, and we are driving vehicles. But when you get kidney injury, I'm sure you are going to fail. When they say bring 80,000 per session, that's how much per week? Times 3, 240. How many of you can afford that rate? You're not even working properly. You're moving with a catheter, fistulas, they call it. You become a poor man or woman, for sure. And yet, 80,000 is not the real cost. Dr. Chibudi might be knowing the real cost. Is this about 1 million shillings? Yeah, Parliament wanted this figure from me. We tried to calculate, but it's probably somewhere more than 500,000. If you put in all the factors, electricity, water, labor, probably you come to 1 million shillings per session. Now we are asking for 80,000 of that. The rest is being provided by government, and still people cannot afford it. So this is a big thing. You should not get chronic kidney injury. Chronic kidney disease is bad news. No wonder, even in this short time, we have lost many of our patients. And probably those who died gave up because of cost and could not continue the dialysis session. Is that right? They could not continue. And the people who work in dialysis have been crying, "Doctor, why don't we waive completely?" And I said, now what do we do? When we run short of the supplies, what are we going to do? So these are the challenges we're having, and many families have become impoverished. The Minister of Health is also aware of the challenges of sustaining these crucial services at the regional referral. As managers of regional referral hospitals, we have a lot of challenges sustaining these services. It's not easy in terms of personnel who have to be there all the time, in terms of space, in terms of the materials, the dialyzers, and so many other things. It's not easy. And if we focused on the dialysis, effective dialysis as a hospital, we might require to close the other departments. Is that right? Now this is the dilemma we are in. So as ministry will continue to lobby Parliament of Uganda to see how we can have increase in funding for these interventions. And as I said, as I told you, Dr. Yume, who is the chair of the Health Committee of Parliament, is very passionate about starting dialysis in the hospitals. And we're going to meet when we are presenting the ministerial policy statement. And I'm sure probably he will say something about increasing funding. Right now we are depending on Kirudu funding for dialysis. So we pick our supplies from Kirudu.
Shall we have an opportunity to get our own direct funding from Parliament? These are some of the questions that we have to answer. Nevertheless, we want to thank the Parliament of Uganda for passing the Uganda Human Organ Transplant Bill 2021. It was the first on the 29th of September 2022. Although renal transplant remains a nightmare for the average Ugandan, I'm sure there are costs involved. The renal transplant as well. So if we are failing with dialysis, then how shall we move to renal transplant? How many people as a country can we transplant per year? I don't know how many patients we have with CKD who are on dialysis in the country. Does anybody know the figure? The whole country? Now if we were to give about 500 to 600 down there, and supposing we said we give a kidney to at least half of them per year, is it possible? Yes. Is it possible? Okay, if it's possible. So, your foundation, the Uganda Kidney Foundation, Professor, therefore, should help government to make renal transplant an affordable reality for the average Ugandan. You could help us explore ways to see that those who need dialysis get it, those who need renal transplant get it. I want to thank you for this conference. I want to thank you for coming to Lira. It's a big honor that you've chosen Lira region to have this conference, and of course the medical camp that will take place tomorrow at Lira Regional Referral Hospital, courtesy of the Uganda Kidney Foundation. And of course I also want to thank all your sponsors who are here, who have enabled you to carry out this exercise. And ladies and gentlemen, now with the authority entrusted to me, I declare this conference open. For God and my country.
Thank you very much, our chief guest, for officially opening our event